Okay, everyone, before we get into this video, I just want to clarify that I really wanted to make a video on this when it was kind of first announced. I remember it being announced whenever it was kind of VidCon weekend, so I was very much so caught up in everything that was happening that weekend, and I didn't get around to talking about it. And I know that I've posted about it on Twitter, and I posted about it on Instagram, and I think even in YouTube, I've been like responding to people, and I think in passing we've talked about it. But I did kind of want to make a dedicated video to the Ethan Klein lawsuits of it all and what is going on right now with Ethan suing, Twitch creators like Frogain, Denims, Casey Tron, because I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I have watched everything that has been put out so far about this. Obviously, this is an ongoing thing. I just have a lot of thoughts about it, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, who's shocked that I have thoughts about it? And I want to dive into them, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say and what your opinion is on this as well. I just think that there's kind of like a contradicting narrative going on, but let's get into it. So I have some notes here that I've written down. So obviously, as we know, Ethan is suing Twitch creators like Frogain, Denims, Casey Tron for their like reaction content. Now, the interesting thing about this is obviously Ethan is someone with a much bigger platform than these people and someone with a lot more kind of disposable money to throw at lawsuits. Ethan has been very, very, very apparent with the fact that like he will happily spend all of his money on lawsuits, and he will, happily dedicate all of his time to, everything that is involved in the process that normally people don't want to be involved with, which is lawsuits and back and forth and legal fees. He openly says that he enjoys it, and he openly says that he's trying to prove a point and all like this. It always is really interesting to me that he does always seem to just go after women creators. And I mean, here we're seeing it with him going after, 3 women creators. And I think that within itself is something to note. Are you single? Are you in a relationship? What's your deal? Tell me down below, because I want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by AdamandEve.com. Oh, we love this. So if you go to AdamandEve.com and use code ADAM50, you get 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. If you're single like me, there are some fun things to spice up your life. And if you're in a relationship or whatever your deal is, there are some things that will completely rock your world together, or ever. How many people are in your relationship, okay? I love Adam and Eve so much. This, as you know, is one of our only sponsors, because I really do only take on really companies that I believe in. They're over 50 years in the game, 90-day no hassle return, 24/7 customer service. A bunch of their proceeds goes to helping fighting the spread of HIV all around the world, and that is literally not including the fact that they genuinely have the greatest fucking adult toys and everything in between of anywhere else, in my opinion. The stuff that they have and the range and the constant fucking rotation is absolutely insane. Me love Adam and Eve. You love Adam and Eve. My friends love Adam and Eve. There's a reason that they keep coming back, because you guys actually fucking use and love the deal. And again, I just love being able to work with Adam and Eve because they are incredible, and I love their stuff as well. So again, if you go to AdamandEve.com and you look for things, if you want, again, things if you're single, in a relationship, whatever your vibe is right now to spice up your life, we're entering, our hot girl end of year time, okay? Hot girl summer can be forever. It's a lifestyle forever, okay? And I'm sure that we'll find stuff that will continue that lifestyle. But again, if you go over to Adam and Eve and you see things that you like, if you use the code ADAM50, you will get 50%, literally half off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada, and shipping everywhere else for the international baddies. Do not worry. And again, everything I said, 90-day no hassle return if you do not like your product, but you will. Literally just read through the comments, and if you have ever used this deal as well, write down below, just if anyone wants a little bit more confidence, whenever their packages arrive as well, no one knows what it is from the outside. If you live with people and just want your privacy to yourself, that's fine. Come on. Okay, again, thank you so much, Adam and Eve. I really appreciate you guys coming back. Muckers, thank you. This is a huge support of my channel as well. And again, AdamandEve.com. If you choose whatever products you want, please use code ADAM50 for 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. Thank you, Adam and Eve, and on with the video. What's really interesting about Ethan suing people for, their reaction content, and him saying that they're not giving enough reaction content or they're stealing content from him, it actually makes me really sad for one of the things that I really always respected Ethan and Ela for was the lawsuit that basically changed the game for content creation. And that was 100% their doing, and them putting themselves out on the line and fighting for really the YouTube community, if we're being honest. Back in 2016, Ethan and Ela got, sued by Hussein Zadeh, and this was for their reaction to a skit. The video was, Matt, his first name. He had done, like a 5-minute short film, I think it was, and Ethan and Ela had done like a 14-minute breakdown of it. And now they had commentary, they had, criticisms, they had basically everything that you would think of when you're thinking of like reacting to a short clip and giving commentary to it. Now, Matt claimed that they stole his content completely, and the case ended up going to court in New York, which was the Hussein Zadeh versus Klein, 2017, I think it was. Now, this was a big case and got a lot of attention, as you can imagine, because it was really, really, really one of the first times the kind of fair use and commentary was really being spoken about on YouTube in the mainstream, and specifically when things go to lawsuits, it'll blow up and be a bigger thing because it makes it more serious, it makes it more legit. You have LawTube featuring in, you have journalists getting involved as well, and this was one that went to court because with lawsuits, typically as well, they will not go to court. A lot of, lawsuits will just get settled, specifically with things that kind of we cover with defamation, because defamation suits are really hard to win, they're hard to prove. But with this Matt versus Klein case, obviously this was, him trying to say that they were like stealing content. So this wasn't like a defamation case by any means. Now, the ruling was interesting. So the judge ruled in H3's favor, ruled in Ethan and Ela's favor. And basically the main thing was that she said that H3's reaction was like quintessential comment and criticism, which is, what fair use is to protect. And fair use is everything that we see on YouTube, from commentary to reactionary. I mean, there's whole on genres now that are, directly affected by fair use being allowed or not, in terms of clips and transitional, like changing things, transformative. And so the one thing I will always say is before Ethan and Ela fought for this and won this court case, which still to this day, with all of my feelings about Ethan and Ela, and people in the chat are saying that Phil DeFranco was starting a fundraiser for them as well. Everyone was raising a bunch of money for them. This was a big thing for the community, and they were fighting for the community. And again, it is really sad to kind of look at where H3 and Ethan are now, that there was one stage when everyone was willingly lifting them up, and they were fighting for the community as well, the community that they are still in, that they are now, at the same time attacking as well, which I'll get into. It makes me sad, the trajectory of it, because again, the one thing I will always say is Ethan and Ela changed YouTube forever with fighting with this lawsuit. No one wants to fight a lawsuit. Obviously, we know that Ethan likes fighting them now, but I'm just being nice here. Like, no one wants to go to court. No one wants to spend all this money, but they did it, and they killed it, and they really changed the landscape of YouTube forever in such a positive way, which is ironic in the grand scheme of things, right? Now, like I said before this, creating YouTube videos that were reactionary or even commentary to the fullest were very tricky things to do. I mean, you could literally get a DMCA claim and it would not only strike down your entire video, but it could strike down your entire channel. I mean, YouTube did not fuck around whenever it came to... they did not fuck around whenever it came to claims, and they would always kind of side with the company or the one who was kind of filing against the YouTuber. And I also do want to clarify, I am seeing like Maddie in chat is saying it is important to note that this was not by his choice though. Please do not give him too much credit. Yes, I completely agree. Ethan and Ela were sued. They were sued and then they chose to fight it. I obviously, in the grand scheme of things, people like saying that I am so negative when it comes to them, or I can never see another perspective or whatever. But this is something I will always hold true, that I always respected Ethan and Hila for, which was fighting this, because they could have settled and they could have allowed this to completely ruin YouTube with, lawsuits getting involved. YouTube really don't fuck around whenever it comes to lawsuits. But anyways, like I said, before this, YouTube would really side with anyone that wasn't the YouTuber who was giving the YouTuber the strike, which obviously basically meant that YouTubers kind of lived in a little bit of fear when it came to creating their content. Now, the Ethan and Hila case basically gave creators like an ability to prove that they were doing fair use as well, and that the courts, I guess, would like side with them when it came to defending them, transforming content, with, reaction and commentary. And again, this is one of the most significant moments that I can remember in like YouTube history recently, specifically because it directly affects us. And it is the reason that we're able to do what we do now. Now, I think as well that I saw online that Ethan had raised money to create the FUPA, which was the Fair Use Protection account, to defend other creators against copyright lawsuits, which is something that I really kind of want to focus on here. That there was a period of time where it seemed that like Ethan was really for people, doing commentary or doing reaction videos, regardless of how much or how little they added to it, just kind of allowing everyone to explore within that niche is kind of what I'm taking from this. I may be wrong here. But I think Ethan doing that, raising money to create the Fair Use Protection account to defend other creators against copyright lawsuits is really interesting when you look at the trajectory. Is Ethan is now suing 3 women creators for copyright. Like, Ethan has now done like a 180, whereas he was sued for copyright. And he won the lawsuit defending people, so that they could react to things and give commentary, right? And that's reactionary or commentary. And then he's now, suing these 3 women and making this big point. But we'll dive exactly into that in a second. He's went from the person who was defending fair use to now the person that is suing on behalf of it. Like, he has, in a way, became his own little Matt Hussein Zadeh, you know what I mean? So again, the lawsuit did focus very much so on like comment and criticism, transformative, just adding things in any way to the content. And so anyways, we kind of launch forward to 2025 and we see that Ethan sues Frogan, Denims, and Caseytron for streaming his content nook on Hassan. Now, one thing that's really interesting about this is a lot of people immediately jumped to like Ethan's defense in this and like supporting Ethan because they all reacted to it and, it was his video or whatever. But the thing that I just don't really appreciate about that was Ethan was setting a trap, which I just feel is incredibly weird, that he pre-registered the video with the like copyright office, right? So he was admitting that in posting this Hassan content nook that he was posting about and talking about for so fucking long. Like, this was his entire personality. I don't know if anyone remembers in chat. Do you remember when the LA fires were going on and he literally posted a fucking photo out his window where you could like see smoke and fires, and it's him editing the Hassan thing, and he's like, oh, I'm almost done, or I'm still working on it. Oh, you remember. Like, this was so crazy. Like, this was so... It was all he talked about, and he was leaning it up as it was going to be this big moment. He's never put so much effort into something. He's never whatever. And again, I do just want to clarify as well that a lot of people in chat are saying something really interesting about Ethan having the audacity to say that anyone else is, stealing content or not being transformative or not adding enough, when this man literally admits that he uses ChatGPT for like everything. Like, he literally says that he's used it in like debates, he's used it for research. And so I don't really take it that seriously or see it as an argument that he's trying to accuse anyone of being unoriginal or stealing or adding, when this man is openly admitting to using these AI services that literally their entire bit is stealing from a bunch of people and then putting it all together and serving you the slop. So that's also something I want to note as well, that like I really do think about this. Like he's literally using it for like content and research, and I just think that that is so fucking embarrassing. He literally was saying in the Hassan debate, he was like, oh, like I was having a long conversation with ChatGPT about it. It's like, that's embarrassing to admit. I'm sorry, that's embarrassing to admit. But I think the reason that he was bigging this Hassan Nook up, like it's going to ruin Hassan's career, it's going to be whatever. And he was like openly, once he released it, being like, Hassan will not watch this. Hassan will not react to this. Hassan is scared of me. Hassan is whatever. Knowing that he had pre-registered this video in the copyright system so that he could basically sue, I guess, or flag anyone who reacts to the video because that's his copyrighted material. So this is what I don't really respect at all about Ethan, which was people like to give him credit for setting the trap, and Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron walked into it. But if anything, this is incredibly weird that this man copyrighted this video, posted it, and then basically was trying to poke the bear as, y'all won't react to it, y'all won't react to it, y'all won't react to it. Like, that's weird as fuck. That's weird as fuck to me. And then, like I said, he admitted that it was a trap, right? And people were like saying it was so genius of him, and he caught, these 3 women out and all like this. But he was begging Hassan to react to it. And so he was begging Hassan to react to it. I don't ever think Hassan really reacted to it. However, these like smaller streamers did. Now, Frogan ended up deleting the VODs, and once Ethan filed this lawsuit, and obviously deleting things will never look good whenever it comes to the court case. But in this instance, I'm not focusing directly on the people that he's suing individually. I'm just focusing on like the arc that Ethan's on and how like he has became what he set out to destroy. Because again, his main points with, Frogan and Casey Tron and Denims was that they were like stealing his audience. They were stealing his video. They were not adding anything to it. They were, not giving commentary, not giving fair use or whatever. And you can say that those are all valid points, specifically if they are admitting these things that he's saying. However, it's important to note that he was openly trying to set traps to catch creators out, which is incredibly, incredibly weird and goes against his original messaging completely. He also stated in his video that he's suing these creators so that a company like Disney doesn't come around and sue other creators and ruin the fair use of it all for people, or whatever he phrased it as, which is so weird because in his video, he's like, I'm suing it. I'm suing people for, not being transformative and stealing, so whenever it's not a big company doing it. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense at all. You're like saying that you're suing to basically sue so that a company doesn't come along and sue people, but you're still suing people for the same thing that you're saying that the company was going to sue for, right? Like, that's just absolutely weird to me. And I honestly don't feel any sympathy to him at all when he's openly saying that he's setting this trap and people walked right into it or whatever like that. Specifically when he has been harassing specifically Frogan and Denims after the lawsuit as well. That I just think the fact that he has any audacity to come after them watching in any way his content, which he is actively bigging up and is saying is the biggest thing ever. I thought you wanted everyone to see the video. And the fact that he set it as a trap proves to me a level of inauthenticity rather than anything. And again, I just think that it's incredibly hypocritical for H3, like it would be for me, to sit down here and dictate what is adding enough commentary or what is adding enough reactionary things. Because, I mean, you could also go through and find clips of H3 where Ethan is sitting for long periods of silence, or where Ethan is just eating for long periods, or they're completely ignoring the topic at hand, or like, you know what I mean? Like, to play this game means that people could find anything on you. And again, whenever I was like planning on making this video months ago, whenever it dropped back in fucking June, everyone on Reddit, everyone on Twitter was like showing clips of H3, you know, watching things and not giving commentary. And you could also probably find those of me as well. You could probably find them of anyone that gives commentary or reaction, because sometimes you have to let things play for a long time before you comment on it. But also sometimes you're reacting to things and some things are less reactionary to others. When you start dictating or nitpicking little things, you're going against the fair use thing that you originally fought for when you got sued. And to me, it really does just seem that Ethan has kind of became what was coming for him at the start. Like, what was really, 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 like, attacking him, he has now became that person. Like, he has became, like, the Matt, you know, Hussein Zadeh. That's truly just how I feel about it. And people can disagree with me completely, but with the way that he flaunts about, well, let's go to court, you know, I have the money, I enjoy suing people. He literally openly states about suing more people. He at times has threatened, you know, to take it there with me as well. Like, he loves doing this, that I'm like, at its core, you are just a bully. Like, you are a bully that uses your money and your lifestyle to silence people or belittle people or have rules for you but not for them. And I just don't respect that at all, specifically when the majority of people that you will target will be women. And that's a fact. Like, we literally have this lawsuit is all women. It really, really, really is. So again, we look back at like 2016, 2017, Ethan, it's like, you know, fighting for reaction content, commentary content, fair use, and it's worth defending and going to court and doing a great job with it. And then Ethan now is the person that is now suing people for the things that he was being sued for when it comes to fighting for fair use and fighting for whatever. And again, my point with this that I really always wanted to talk about was Ethan, you know, set up, like I said, the FIPA fund, which was like the fair use protection or whatever the fuck it was for creators who were being sued and abused by this system. And I focused less so individually on this specific Frogan, Denims, and Caseytron, and more so on the fact that it's crazy to me that Ethan would even want to dedicate any of his time or money to fighting people for things that he's been fought for in the past, and he knows the struggle of it. But again, I guess when you have that money and you're running out of topics, I guess you've just got to sue people to give content. And it just is honestly like bully loser behavior. And I will never use the word bully because I think it's so overused. I think it's like a lame word to use, and I think it's a very weak word. But I really just think that the fact that like Ethan's community just harass these women, and it's a complete 180 on what H3, I guess, were back in 2016-17. And it's embarrassing. It must be so hard being sued by someone who is openly saying that they're, you know, doing it for like funsy onesies. Like, that is so nice that you have the privilege of being able to do that. But like, I wonder if like him and Ela, or if they're just so far gone and evil now, do they ever think back on like how they felt when they were being sued for fair use and all transformative content in any capacity, and they literally had to have creators like Philip DeFranco, who they've now turned on, and the entire YouTube community rally behind them, donating money to them, and they have now became what the community were helping them fight. It just says a lot. It just really, really, really says a lot. I mean, in closing, right? This is truly how I feel about it. So Ethan Klein he was the person that would, like I said with the FIPA fund, like stand up for creators, fight for creators, defend creators, support them when they were being abused by other creators in the system, to being that creator who is happily wanting to do that. And I mean, another word that comes to mind is baiting, literally baiting. He's openly admitting and happy to tell us how he's baiting people into walking into his trap so he can sue them. I think it's lame behavior. I think it's bully behavior. And no wonder the entire community of YouTube is turning against him. No wonder the same people that were once donating to them are now hating H3, because they are polar opposite of everything that they acted like their morals were. And it honestly is completely laughable how much H3 as a core have really just betrayed the YouTube community. So we'll leave it there for now, but I apologize I didn't realize that I hadn't properly made a video talking about the active Ethan lawsuits going on. I had just been sharing thoughts here and there, but I did want to kind of dedicate an entire video to my thoughts and where I'm at with it. I think it's unfortunate. I really think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate. And we'll leave it there.